we're back with another episode.
All right, welcome back to the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back again.
Welcome.
Welcome. How was your week this past week, man?
You know,
It was a week.
the weeks. I can honestly not believe it is already the end of June.
Seriously.
Where has this month gone? It is hotter than the innermost circle of hell here in Texas. Now even hotter with the recent Supreme Court rulings. But my week was pretty good. We had an old friend resurface at the hospital, so it was good to see their face.
Yeah.
And I'm just here living life, man. I don't know what to say. I worked the weekend, so I'm tired as hell.
Yeah.
Get this shit. I worked all last week. I work this weekend. I work all next week. I have Saturday off, and then I work Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Just call in. Fuck that job.
I know.
Just
Truly.
call in.
Honestly, I'm already tired.
Just call in.
But we're going to get through it together, people. I believe in us.
Yeah, you can take naps. That means that you should be, for the next week, you should not be going out to dinner. You should not be going out anywhere at all.
Well, I'm trying to. My goal is, I started last week. I'm not going to drink during the week alone. That's my big goal.
Okay.
I'm sober now. I would like everyone to know.
Well, you have no choice because you were at work.
That's true.
Yeah.
We just did an interview. We were interviewing for another podcast, and the whole time I was thinking, is my ADD worse when I'm drunk or sober? Because the whole time we were talking, I was zooming out, even while I was actively the one talking.
Really?
And I could feel my brain elsewhere.
You know, I feel like not necessarily that I have ADHD. This mic sounds really weird today. Not that I have ADHD or nothing like that, but I just feel like because I have this on wrong. No. Sorry, just kidding. I lied. I don't know my left from my right. I feel like I'm super overstimulated lately. Like
Really?
every little, like especially at work and stuff, like every like beeps and boops and bops and text
Oh,
messages.
not the
and
beep boop bops.
Oh my god, I hate. But in the hospital setting, it doesn't
All we
bother
had
me.
was beep boops bops.
But you don't hear it. It's almost like how parents don't hear their children
because
screaming.
you have alarm fatigue.
Yeah, I do.
But now you're in your house, you got your space set up, and it's quiet, and you don't have people bothering you, like actively in your space. So your sensory threshold's been lowered.
Yeah, I see why my 98-year-old grandmother's just like, whose child is this? You're too loud.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up. Like, it's so annoying.
Oh, have you been to a mall lately?
No.
I bet you're gonna be super overstimulated. When
I haven't been to a mall. Even when I went to Legoland, I was like,
It's too much.
but I attributed it to the fact that it was hot.
Oh,
So I was
being
like-
hot makes it worse.
Yeah, definitely.
How was your week?
My week was okay. It was really good up until actually today, Saturday, but
Oh, the day that you saw me.
well, no, I don't feel good. Like, I've been in the gym heavy, been doing my meal plans and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I wanted to give a shout out too, before I forget this, to Dr. Malika Dandridge. I know she's listening. I'm so incredibly proud of her. She successfully defended her dissertation for her PhD, and she's officially Dr. Malika Dandridge.
I am pale. I just noticed.
Congratulations, Dr.
Congratulations.
Dandridge. So hopefully that was okay for me to say that. But anyway, I think so. But yeah, so this week I was doing perfectly fine. I retwisted my hair Friday, and then I was finished, and then it like just hit me like a ton of bricks. So I've been going to the gym during my lunch break and just working out and stuff. Yeah, I know. You the bastards. Cece called me. She was like, she told me to do that.
Monty has a who have you connected with? I don't know. You know,
I'm connected with Audrey, Jessica, and Cece.
Okay, so she on the Apple Watch is connected to girls in the office, and it tells them when she's working out, and we're all sitting there like just got off the floor, tired as shit, just like mentally dead, and someone got a doo-doo, and they're like, oh, like
Monica just did a workout.
and they're like, oh, I can send her some like an encouraging response, and I was like, yeah, scroll through, and the first one she scrolled said, didn't think you had it in you, and I was like, send it, you have to send that, and she was like, no, there's so many other ones. I was like, you gotta send it.
Because her and Jessica sent me one. But the thing is, we had synced our watches like 2 years ago.
That's weird.
Because I think even Cointa did hers. We all synced our watches together, and Audrey too. And I had the Series 3. Which is
that?
So old. The Series 3 of the watch is the third watch that came out. So I recently upgraded because that watch was just giving me issues and it would die so fast. Anyway, but it's Apple probably doing that allegedly. Anywho.
They got sued for doing that.
Yeah, no, they probably were doing it to the Apple Watch as well too.
Apple.
But so now I can see like all my, my EKG and my
Oh, that's cool.
my O2 sats and stuff. But I got a new watch, so that's why, because it wouldn't sync before for the last like year and a half.
I need a new watch too then.
Yeah.
I have to have one.
You have to have one.
Well, I need an EKG and I need to know my O2 sat.
Absolutely.
That would have been good in Peru when I was dying on a mountain.
Well, maybe not, because if you would have saw that, you would probably freaked out.
80.
Exactly. Then there would have been a record of it. But no, other than that, I just this week today, I'm just kind of feeling like, or even last night it started. I just feel like, you know how when you have the flu, but you just have just the body aches. So I don't know if it's actually something or if it's just. Because I was going really hard in the gym this week and doing a lot of legs, and so my legs are pretty much dead. But
also, excuse me, I'm not even gonna apologize. I'm gonna be yawning during this episode because your girl's tired. She doesn't have speed running through her blood system right now.
Yeah.
I went to work all day. I was healing your friends and family.
And we still got one more thing to do before
and we still have things to do
today.
today.
Yeah.
And we've already recorded today.
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't even know what the fuck I was saying.
I was talking about going to the gym and being sore.
The heat drains
Yes.
everything. Like I
Yes, it
step
does.
outside and I'm tired.
Yeah.
I've been so tired lately. I don't know if my anemia is back, but I'm gonna blame the Texas sun. So that
I agree.
That too. I think working out and being in the sun and just existing in
Like,
this world right now.
Even just trying to go to the trash can and like put my trash out there,
You're
I'm
like,
just like,
"Oh."
I need to lay down and take a nap.
It's bad.
Like,
Did you see the lady who left her child in the car
No.
in the Texas heat?
But you know, okay, here's the thing though. I honestly, when I hear parents that do stuff like that, I honestly don't judge them. And the reason why is because I can personally see how you forget a whole ass child in the back of a car. I can totally understand that because as a parent, look, think about your fucking ADHD.
That is
You would leave a child in the car. I could very well
100%.
leave a child in the car. Like everybody says, oh, well, you don't leave your phone in the car. You're right, because your phone is portable in your hand. A whole child is not. And especially too, if your child is sleeping in the back, sometimes you got so much going on, you don't remember that. So I can see how people do that.
I agree.
I always feel bad for them though.
I feel so bad having to live with that shit, but I'm just thinking like that's how hot it is here.
Yeah.
That you can't even leave your kid. I don't think the kids are in the car for like hours.
Yeah.
It's just that hot here.
Yeah, my mom used to leave us in the car all the time.
Oh, if my mom
That was
tried to
also in
leave
the
me in a
80s.
car, I was gonna say right now, like my mom could leave me in a car right now.
Definitely not. You get out. If she
too
straps you in,
fucking
I'm
hot.
calling the police. Definitely calling the police. But yeah, that's sad though. Like I think a lot of people always judge parents when that happens, and they're just like, "Oh, there's no way you should leave your child." No, accidents happen.
I'm tired now. Can you imagine having a child? Hell no. I would be whacked out of my mind.
My sister keeps saying, "I need to send Liam to you for the summer." And I'm
Not
like,
in the summer.
Go ahead and send them. And then I thought about it. I was like, "Who about to go outside, boy? If you don't go take a nap, entertain your damn self."
You know what kids love to do? Activities. You know, they love even more outside
Side
activities.
activities,
In the
yes.
sun? No. I can barely get myself from work to the house and inside the house, and I'm like, whew, that was too much.
I don't even have to go anywhere to go to work. I come downstairs to my office, and
It's
I can barely
too
do
much.
That. I will wake up
So
at 10
shouts
minutes
out to
before I
all
get
the
off.
parents out there doing the damn
Seriously,
thing. 'Cause
that is super sad. But other than that, my week was okay. I'm just kind of feeling a little funky. So preferably this is not anything for real, and I can get over this, whatever this
Yeah.
is, and be okay. Let's go ahead and get on into it. We're gonna try to make this episode very quick because we don't want to prolong the time, as the old Baptist bishops.
we're here to hit you with the facts and the fun stuff.
And get
little
out.
hee hee ha ha and get the hell out of here, people.
Absolutely.
Not try to waste your time this week, all right?
Absolutely. So, as everybody knows, or if you don't know,
Now you know.
now you do know. The Supreme Court has come down with their ruling that they already said they were going to do when the draft was leaked. That they have now overturned.
At least they're keeping their promises now.
Absolutely. That's the only thing they're keeping their promises on. So the Supreme Court has officially overturned Roe v. Wade, which for those that don't know, it is protecting women's rights to choose abortion as well as safe abortion, to especially miscarriages, medical abortions to save the mother. If you were raped, God forbid, or sexually assaulted and, suffer from incest and were pregnant, you could get a medical abortion, all that kind of stuff. So all of that has now been stripped away. And as a result of that, a few states in the United States has gone to an immediate ban on abortions at the state level. However, I know Joe Biden did say that if Roe v. Wade was overturned, that he would sign an executive order to allegedly to keep it legal at the federal level and to ban any state from prosecuting women if they decided to cross state lines to get said abortion.
Because that's insane that we can say states' rights, right? States have the choice, but I can still prosecute you if you leave your state to have it done somewhere else. That's insane.
And also, too, what them overturning it also says that physicians who perform these medical procedures, abortion or medical miscarriage, medical abortion, whatever you want to title it, they can also be prosecuted, and it's considered a felony. And some states will not prosecute the person for having the abortion. They will prosecute the medical professional who performed it with a felony.
I've been having lots of thoughts.
Let's hear them.
Okay. So my first thought is the Supreme Court said at a national level, this is not a legal issue. It is a moral issue, right? That then the government has no right to blanket statement say that abortion should be legal, that we're going to protect this abortion. Each state can decide, right? Okay.
Well, they're just saying that the Constitution doesn't specifically say abortion on a federal level, so now they're passing it back down to the state. So they don't want to deal with the issue anymore. It's basically the problem. So they're making it a state issue.
So then I was like, okay, so of course our red ass Republican state, Texas. Maybe you've heard of it.
I still don't claim Texas.
Of course would be like, no way, girl. Take it out. We ain't doing it.
Yeah.
Right. So immediately I was like, well, all these people are doing all this shit. They're just going to have all these people up and move from Texas. And then I'm like, but that's what they fucking want.
Why do they want people to move?
Because I feel like we've all, not that we're going blue, but more big cities have been going blue. And I feel like this would be the best push to get people the fuck up out of here. Young people, all these people that are coming here, or all these people that were here and are trying to make these things happen. But now I'm like, that's probably what they want, to make the state red, super red, blood red again.
Yeah, I agree.
So now we got to stay.
Now we got to stay. You know what I think though? First of all, I want to say this. I'm not surprised. Okay. I've been saying for years. First of all, black women have been saying for years and have been telling white women in this country for years not to trust their white husbands. And for some reason, white women are like, no, that's your experience. So remember at the former job I used to work at, I used to tell you, like, this is what's happening. They're coming for me. And you're like, that's your experience. And they started coming for your ass. Bitch, I told you.
Now it's our experience.
Exactly. And so I think black women have been screaming from the mountaintops, and white women are like, well, this is a woman's issue. It's not, because them overturning Roe v. Wade that's been in existence for 56 years is strictly about white supremacy. The census came out in 2020 and it showed that mixed race people are on the move to be the majority.
Did y'all? I'm sorry. No, did you watch the NBA draft this year?
Yes, I did.
Light skins everywhere.
Mixed race people will be the majority.
They're hedging you out of the fucking NBA.
Yes, they are. And so I think that this is all a ploy to keep their race in existence. And here's the thing. I don't blame them. Because again, white people operate, and I know you're white, you're partially white, but you were raised as a white woman, but white people, their only agenda is to preserve themselves. That's why they're so evil. This is why they're so vindictive. This is why they make laws. But I get it. If you are trying to preserve your race, you are going to do everything you can to do it, even if it doesn't rationally make sense. So this idea that they are not human, you're absolutely right. They're just about themselves. They don't care who else is affected by it. So why are we surprised? Also, too, I firmly believe that white people are aliens. These are the aliens. Everybody think aliens are like E.T. They're not. They're Alyssa, partially. She's 50% alien. But I also think, too, one of the things that I saw recently was a lot of right-wing conservative people, especially Christians, which I hate. I won't say I hate Christians because I am a Christian. I do believe Christ, Jesus Christ, believe in him. But anyway, one thing that I hate is when people bring religion into free will, right? Because as a Christian, it talks in the Bible about, oh, well, God gives us free will to choose, right?
That's like the first chapter.
Exactly. And so, on the first day, choose.
Hey, listen, I'm not saying I'm a scholar or anything, a theologian, but I do know very early on in that book, he said, you could choose.
It's somewhere between Genesis and Revelation. Anyway, I feel like if you serve a God that says, well, you can only have free will when it comes to choosing me and nothing else, you're in a fucking cult.
Yes.
You're in a cult. Like, and people say, well, you choose this at your job. Your job tells you when to go to lunch, when to clock in. You're absolutely right. Corporate America is a cult. We're not denying that. You know what I mean?
It's a cult I have to be a part of.
Exactly, because
to
of a
operate
social
in this
construct.
society.
Number two, regardless of your religious beliefs, at the end of the day, Everyone in these United States is not a Christian. Everybody does not believe in God, and you cannot talk about what morality is, because morality to me is different from morality to Alyssa. And you cannot put your religious beliefs on me and say, oh, this is a proud day in America. Now, here's the thing. You can have your opinion and rejoice all you want to, but at the same time, you telling somebody that they shouldn't kill their child or murder their fetus because, you know, life is at conception, you don't know what the hell you will do until you get in that situation. And what's going to happen is a lot of these people, especially some of these Gen Z people who are coming out. There was one gospel artist that I had to unfollow her because I was like, you are confused out of your fucking mind anyway. She's from the Walls Group. Anywho, amazing singer.
Oh no, I like the kids.
Girl, the youngest one, not the youngest, but she's the youngest one of them, Aja. She wrote this whole bit, and I was like, girl, keep your shit. First of all, I can't even get mad at her. You haven't lived life. You're only like what, 19, 20, whatever the fuck. You haven't had any experiences for real. So again, she's like, well, I've had sex before. Nobody gives a shit at the end of the day.
That's not what this is about.
This is not what this is about. It's about the fact that even if you believed that children should not be aborted, whatever the case may be, that's not the same belief for everybody. And also too, the fact that it doesn't make provision for women who are experiencing ectopic pregnancies, women who are hemorrhaging, or women who have cancer and need to abort their child, or even if you know that as a parent, you cannot take care of a child who has genetic issues that you've been told about based off the testing, you should not be forced to take care of that child and bear the burden, okay, of all these finances and having lack of resources just because you're a Christian. Everybody doesn't subscribe to the same religion. So the fact that you only say free will for what you want it to apply to is disgusting. It's
because
ridiculous.
You're not pro-life, you're pro-birth. If you're pro-life, there would be subsidized education and better everything for these children. We wouldn't have a formula shortage. We would have something
tampons.
better than WIC and tampons.
Right.
You would have better education for these kids. You would make sure the foster care system wasn't overwhelmed, that these kids weren't dying at the hands of their foster parents, that they weren't neglected and abused. But you don't care. And I hate this like empirical Christian thought we have again that's like, well, we're going to save the babies and put the prayer back in the church, and we're going to I'm sorry we didn't do all these things for you before, but we're going to make it right now.
Right.
This country was founded on the fact that everyone here is welcome to believe what they want and practice what they want and have those freedoms.
What happened to my body, my rights when it came to the vaccine? But you don't have the same thing for women? Like, that doesn't make any sense.
You are not allowed, because they're your religious beliefs, to blanket that for a whole fucking state.
No, you don't.
Because that's what, no.
And this is why you have the separation of church and state. And hey, I get it. As a Supreme Court justices, I totally get why they decided to do this, because they're tired of hearing about it.
Washing their hands.
But here's the other part that I want to bring up. I blame Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Okay. I just do.
On her grave.
Oh my God. Ruth, listen, everything that you have done for women's rights, you literally sabotaged it because you were too selfish to get your old ass off that fucking bench.
And get us someone
when Obama was in office. You knew you had cancer. And I'm not saying you knew you was going to die. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is you knew you had cancer at that time.
Someone told you to get your affairs in order, and you did not.
Listen, people kept telling you, hey, Ruthie girl, get your ass or your old ass off the bench. She's, oh, no. I'm going to stay here I'm going to die on the bench, which is exactly what you did. And when your behind died, okay, because I'm not going to disrespect her like that. When she died, who ended up taking her spot? Yet another Republican. You could have allowed Obama to put another Democratic Supreme Court justice on that bench, but no. Ruth, you wanted control. And not only that, the fact that a whole ass woman was like, yep, I agree with this. You on the bench. They can't take you off.
It's a health issue, right?
It's
health, because no one is arguing about, I'm not arguing about the conception part, about the age of conception,
Absolutely.
when a baby is born, when life is viable, whether or not abortion is right or wrong. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that this government should not be allowed to tell me what I can or cannot do with my body.
Absolutely.
And if you are so worried about people aborting their babies in droves, Be a better person. Have your own kids. Educate them how you want. Make them just little versions of you. Be a good person. Draw people into your energy and your spirit, and they're going to wonder what you're doing. And then you can tell them all about your God and how you love him and how you don't want them to abort their children either. Have sex education in schools. Don't chastise your child or treat virginity like this super special gift and put all this weird taboo around it. That's why girls run wild and boys run wild and do all this crazy shit. Be a better parent. Be a better person. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
Well, I think also too, it kind of goes back to, this ideology of just respect for human regard, right? And I think, again, you can't have a conversation with rational people. There was one senator from Utah that said that she was in favor of them overturning Roe v. Wade. And so she said, well, women in my state should be able to control the amount of ejaculation that goes inside of them. And I'm like, okay, if a person says something like that, you're not dealing with a rational human being. So trying to get them to understand your point is pointless. And I know we talk about voting and all that kind of stuff. This is why they come after voting rights and all that. But the only way that you're going to control abortion in your state, honestly, is by voting these people out. But also, too, I feel like there's a bigger conversation because, as I've seen on social media, there's been a lot of white women saying, oh, black women, we got to come together, right? And we got to be united because this affects you, too.
It always happens.
Right. But the thing is, black people have been living without the right to choose. Let's be very clear. If you look at the maternal mortality rates of black and brown women in this country,
sky high.
We have some of the highest mortality rates when it comes to birth. And our rates are even higher than some quote unquote undeveloped countries, which is sad because we're the country that's supposed to be this amazing place, right? I don't say we because I don't subscribe. I was just born here. Anyway, but at the same time, it's like you have these situations that are put into place. And, even, what was the guy's name? Have you ever watched Black Ink Crew on VH1?
Oh, well, that's a throwback, baby.
So, well, I don't watch anymore because Duchess
Black
is off.
Ink Crew.
That show is so trashy. But anyway, I
Those
used to
of
watch
you
it
who
as a
don't
Duchess.
know, it's a black reality show about tattoo artists.
Trash. So Caesar, who is the owner of Black Ink or whatever, there was a video that came out recently where he threw a chair at a dog.
What?
So because he threw this chair at the dog, VH1 was like, "We've cutting ties, bitch."
Because the animals have more rights.
Animals have more rights in this country
how
than
many
now.
NFL players have dragged their wives on
In
camera in elevators across that damn shit, and they're still back on Basketball Wives or whatever the hell they're on.
And this is why no one blinked an eye when Solange beat the shit out of Jay-Z. Reparations. That's all I'm saying. I mean, they're probably over it now, but I'm just saying it's insane that now white women are seeing that a dog has more rights than black and brown people in this country, which we already have experienced that, so that's not anything new to us. But now you're experiencing it as a white woman. Let me ask you this question. You're a mixed person. You are half black, half white. Your mom's white, your dad's black.
True.
How do you kind of decipher between the two of you? You're not an alien, but I'm just saying, like, how do you as a white woman feel in this country? You're black presenting, but you were raised as a white woman and kind of having both sides. Like, what do you think about that?
The weirdest part is that I am phenotypically black, right? Mm-hmm. And when people see me, they see black.
Yeah.
So I understand completely, not necessarily how to navigate this world as a black person, but how to operate, how the world sees me and how I see them. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, do I have some crazy conservative Republican ass white family members? 100%. I'm from South Texas. That's how it works. The weird part is knowing these people at an intimate level and hearing the things that they're saying, and you're like, this makes no sense. Because look at me and like how this affects me and people like me, but I don't think necessarily like that. Not that they don't see color, but they don't see me as black.
They just see you as a list of their family member.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, that doesn't make sense. Because my whole thing is, especially during like Black Lives Matter, I'm like, you cannot speak on anything. I can barely speak on anything because I'm not in these communities, in these situations where this is happening. Yeah. It's easy to say, well, like this and this, and I would do this. I do not feel like you can have any kind of true strong opinion in that conversation until you've grown up this way, until you've been in these situations around these people and lived it, because I can think all the time, well, that never happened to me, or that doesn't happen here, or why don't we hear more about this, or what about this situation? But until you're in it and you experience it, you don't know what the hell's going on. Which is the same thing here. To me, I'm like, until I'm in that situation, until I have something happen to me where I'm faced with the choice of whether or not to end the life of the child growing inside of me, how can I speak on that intimate?
Yeah.
It's such a delicate, everyone I know that has had an abortion was never like, easiest choice I've ever made.
Yeah.
It's a hard fucking choice and no one wants to make it.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to stand here and say, oh, absolutely not. I would never do it. And I can't believe anyone would do it and did it, because you just never know.
Yeah. Very true.
So I think that's the hard part for me, is that I can put myself into, and maybe, I don't know if I wouldn't say I'm like the most empathetic person, but I think I am more inclined to be empathetic.
Yeah.
I don't know if that is because I'm mixed, or that is because I have this family who all looks the same, but I look different, and I can put myself in other people's shoes, but it's very hard for me to not put myself in everyone's position when things like this happen, because I'm like, I would never want to be faced with that situation. So far be it from me to make such a concrete stand either way.
Yeah.
If that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe it's working in the hospital too.
I think so. 'Cause
you see some crazy shit.
And it's the level of diversity, not just in color and creed and ethnicity, but also too in just class as well as medical situation. Because even we see in the hospital setting, sometimes we see patients and we're just like, let these people die. Let them freaking die.
Yeah.
Let them go to glory, Jesus. And then other people were just like, I'm so glad that they fought, because had they not fought, their family member wouldn't be here. You know what I mean? And now they're alive and thriving and doing all this amazing stuff.
Illnesses, diagnoses, they don't discriminate.
Yeah, they don't.
Your outcomes may be discriminative.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, and the care you get may be different, but cancer can happen to you if you're black, white, brown, purple, and seeing that, if you're rich, poor, whatever, being on this end of it, it's like, well, shit. You see the nicest person come in and they have a horrible diagnosis.
Yes, they do.
You see a ain't shit, crappy attitude, piece of shit person come in, same diagnosis, fine, walk right out of the hospital. And it's that kind of inequality that makes me always be like, take a second, take a step back, because you never know. And I would never want to put myself in that situation, and everyone has the right to choose. I just can't imagine the government being able to dictate my health care, any other part of my health care. You get in a car accident tomorrow. I hope you don't. You won't.
God forbid.
God forbid.
The blood of Jesus is against you, Satan.
Something crazy happens to someone we know. How about that? And they're in a coma, they're on a ventilator, and they've been on for 5 days. And the government says, well, they have till 7 days. If we don't see any viable life, we're turning it off.
Exactly. And they're not even the professionals who understand what viability is.
Who makes that? We've seen people in ventilators for weeks,
months.
Family members will keep them on forever, and then we have family members who keep them on for 48 hours. And they're like, "This is not what they want. Turn it off."
Absolutely.
And I have goosebumps, because I'm just like, those kinds of life and death situations, which is what this is.
It is a life and death.
Again, childbirth is still the #1 killer of women in America.
Yes, it is.
All your vital organs, right?
And this idea to put religion on it, to say, well, if God wanted you to be alive, he would let you be alive. Like, that's not really. And then too, even going back to your point that you were saying about, kind of being in other people's shoes. One thing that I have learned as an adult is to never judge people's situations, because the minute you judge it, God will humble you.
Oh yeah.
Or whoever your God is, the universe, whatever you believe in, it will humble the shit out of you. Like, for example, you see, like, you love murder mysteries. I do too, right? True crime. And you be like, see, if I was in that position, girl, I would do this and that. No, your fat ass won't. You wouldn't be able to outrun, even in Scream. Now, why she fell over the air? I wouldn't have failed. You don't know what you would do in these particular situations, because you're not there. Your fight or flight responses have not activated. Your adrenaline has not activated. I mean, I grew up in a very strict religious household, and the church that I grew up in is a cult, and it still is. Unfortunately, it's a cult, and I can say that very loud and proud. Your church is a cult. Anywho, neither here nor there. When I was growing up, I was taught to believe that abortion is a sin and that killing a baby is wrong. So going through elementary, high school, I was also taught that masturbation was wrong. How you gonna tell me loving myself is wrong?
I was also told God forgives.
Thank you. Like,
I was also told I had free will.
It's so contradictory to the conversation, but also too, it's just like, you teach all of this stuff, but when you learn people for yourself. Even and this is in the Black Christian church, I was taught that homosexuality is a sin and that all gay people are going to hell. Well, then when I'm operating in middle school and high school and I have these friends who are gay and I'm like,
who are also great, lovely, amazing people.
There's nothing different from them than who they choose to love. That's the only difference. We wear the same clothes. We live in the same types of house. We have the same conversation. We eat the same foods. What's the difference between them and me? Because I like men and they like women. I don't understand
get to treat them like shit, and I'm still
Exactly.
God loving and God fearing.
So God loves everybody but LGBTQ plus community people
and those who abort their children.
and those who, like, what kind of, your God is confusing. Like, Black Christian people out there and white conservative Christians, y'all God is the craziest thing ever, because I'm telling you, it's not Jesus the Christ. Y'all are talking about a completely different God who you get to, pick and choose what you want, what's applicable. Okay, if your God is all knowing, all seeing, because that, again, I don't serve the same God y'all serve, because that ain't Jesus the Christ that I know. But you're saying, well, God gives you free will to choose him. Okay, so so that means that there's no choice at all.
That's like
what?
Being in a relationship and saying, well, I'm still with her because we're married. Choose me every day. God wants you to choose him every day if you love him.
We only get it because we got kids. I beat your ass.
That means when you're out, you can be out in the streets and you're surrounded by all this crazy shit, and you're still saying, I'm not going to do this and that because I choose God.
Yeah. Now, I am going to be petty for a little bit, because I do think that this is very funny, right? So the fact that they overturned it, which we already knew, and it really doesn't affect Black women, because we've been affected ever since we were brought to this country. Our ancestors. Anyway.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Your Nigerian ancestors, because you are
Thank you.
30% Nigerian. Anywho, so the fact that people were in the streets of New York and Rhode Island protesting, these were majority white people, right? I want you to remember this. This is majority white people in the streets. Not only were they there, they were at the Supreme Court protesting. What I think is hilarious is how just a couple years ago, Black and brown people were in the streets protesting for equality and human basic rights, to be treated like a human, for Black Lives Matter. And they were called savages and thugs and all this other kind of crap. But because now you decide to protest something that affects you, now all of a sudden you're just, these lovely protesters. Well, Black people weren't called protesters. We were called agitators. Don't burn up your own communities. What does that solve? Well, people of Rhode Island, why are you burning up your communities? 50 of you got arrested. Why? You fucking thugs. You fucking thugs. You should be wiped off the face of the earth. Protest. Just comply with the police. Just comply. Just do what they say.
Did you see
they won't harm you.
All the other things they're trying to overturn?
Oh, gay rights.
The Equal Rights Act.
Interracial marriage.
The Voting Rights Act.
And Brown versus the Board of Education. One of the senators brought up, he was like, why don't you just redo Brown versus Board of Education? I was like, y'all are stupid.
They were interviewing the senator from Kansas, I think. Maybe I don't want to say Kentucky.
It was one of those states with a K.
It was a K state.
Yeah.
And they're like, so you're okay with, or basically you think that interracial marriage should be dictated at the level of the state? And he's like, well, yeah. What year is it?
1935.
Are you kidding me? This is insane.
And even for Clarence Thomas to even say, like, he literally wrote it in like it was another opinion that they should revisit these cases. I'm just like, Clarence Thomas, your whole ass wife is white. But see, what's going to happen is he's going to protect his marriage and say, oh, well, no, all the other future marriages that come. Because there was even this article that I read where back in the day, his wife's family talked about him and was like, oh my God, he was just such a nice guy. We forgot he was Black. But you swear you don't see color, though. Interesting. I just think it's funny, the hypocrisy. And I can tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going into the streets and I'm not protesting for this, because this is not a Black woman's issue.
Well, I'm just like, and I've seen all the posts that are like, this doesn't stop abortion. This stops safe abortion. And that they're right.
They're absolutely right.
No one's going to stop fucking. No one's going to stop trying to abort their kid if they want to.
Yeah.
It's just like the gun thing. People aren't going to stop buying guns and stop shooting people. They're just going to find other ways to do it.
I mean, look at Handmaid's Tale. Like,
no, let's not.
I'm just saying, Handmaid's Tale is literally telling what they are trying to do. I keep telling y'all, art depicts life. Somebody is a time traveler. The creator of The Simpsons, he's a time traveler. I'm telling you. Like, and if y'all don't believe that, you're crazy. Y'all keep thinking conspiracy theorists are crazy. Well, that's fine. I'll be crazy. But at the same time, it's just like, this stuff happening and them trying to overturn everything, it's all rooted in white supremacy. And when you have someone who thinks that they're better than everybody else, you cannot ration with them. You can't.
I am a member of the Blacksit Facebook group. Are you?
No.
Okay, it's a group of black people who have fled the country. They're
Black
expats.
sit? Oh, Blacksit.
Like exit with black.
I didn't know that.
It is the best thing I've ever joined. It's just all these black people who are like, this is how I'm living my best life. I left the U.S. and I have not looked back. And it's like, these are places that are equally as racist to the U.S. Here are places where I was welcomed with open arms and aren't the U.S.
Would you really consider leaving?
Yes.
Me too.
Especially after South America, I was like, the food was so good. The more research I do, the food here is trash and it will actively kill you. And I'm like, why am I living in a place that wants to kill me?
And it's banned everywhere else.
If it's not the food that's gonna kill me, it's the stress from these stupid jobs that we work and how expensive it is just to live.
Yep, healthcare.
I would gladly leave the United States of America.
I agree. I would definitely leave the United States because one of my cousins, she actually lives in Qatar and she teaches there, and in exchange for getting her student loans paid off and stuff. And I just know that like living abroad, like it will be an adjustment, obviously, but at the same time, I feel like the more you go out of the country and you see how other people live, you realize how bad you really do have it in your own country.
Especially because there's just this idea that the rest of the world is trash.
Because that's
compared
what they
to
teach.
The U.S.
That's what they teach. And it's like, even you get on the side of TikTok where it's like, are you hearing what people outside of the United States are saying about the United States? And they're just like, we feel sorry for y'all. And I'm like, these people are living in, what we consider subpar conditions. They're living in huts and stuff. And they're just like, and I would take my hut any day over living in America. And I'm like, well, God dang, that's sad.
And people are so attached here to the idea of this fake democracy that we have. It's not a democracy.
It's not.
We have literally no choice.
Even like this one lady, she put on social media, she's like, I'm born and raised in Afghanistan. And she was like, the Taliban actually has, least restrictive laws about women's bodies than the United States right now. She was like, in the Taliban, a woman can get an abortion, especially if it saves her life. And if she chooses. Now, you can't choose to wear what you want to wear. You're going to still cover the hell up. But you can have an abortion.
Isn't that insane?
It's insane. Like, when does it become...
and everyone wants to say, like, oh, well, at least it's not as bad here as it is X, Y, and Z.
It's worse here.
But those are also, like, end of the spectrum worst case scenarios. I'm not saying I want to go to a hut in the middle of nowhere.
Hell no.
I'm saying I would rather live abroad in a city, a metroplex, comparable to where I live now, but not have all this bullshit.
Absolutely.
I just know that all of this is a part of a bigger plot plan, and I need to know what it is. There's no way it's not just this.
It's white supremacy.
This is like part whatever.
They're trying to preserve the white people in this country, and I'll say specifically in Congress, they're trying to preserve their people. That's all it is.
I do agree, but there's something bigger than that. Like, not bigger than that, but the big thing they're trying to do now that this is like a baby part of, and it's not that, and there's something else, and it's coming, and I want to know what it is.
I honestly think it's that, because if you look at it, when Trump made the comment, "Make America Great Again," he was, I believe, this is my personal opinion, I'm not saying that he believed this, it's my personal opinion. I believe that he was referencing to the day and time where white people were in charge of everything, which they are now, right? But they did not have to share a level of power. The fact that you were able to live a comfortable, cushy life with slaves on your plantation doing everything for you, and you live these insane, lavish lifestyles. Once black and brown people started saying, absolutely not, we deserve to be equal, what happens now? Their power is stripped. They feel like their power is stripped away, which is realistically not. We're just asking to be on the same level. And we're demanding. We're not asking. We're demanding to be on the same level because you brought us over here. So how in the world does that make any sense for you to continue to be over us and we can't be equal when we bring so much to the table? Not only that, I also feel like white people want to continue to be in a position of power because they feel like at any moment, black and brown people, specifically black people, are going to turn the tables and do the same thing to them that they did to us. Here's the thing. White people out there that you're listening, please open your ears. It's not in our DNA to be nasty and mean to people. It's just not. This social construct that black people are violent and we're angry, I have one question for you. Who taught us how to be that way? We didn't know how to whip people. We didn't know how to yell at people. You know why? Because we couldn't do it. So who did we mimic? Why in the black community are parents whooping their children with belts, which I agree with. Whoop them kids' asses, okay? I'm not a
that trick.
Whoop them, beat their ass, okay? Because we don't have black mass shooters in our community. I'm just saying that, and that was all shade. Anyway, but at the same time, who taught us how to be that way? You sat here and y'all called Native Americans savages. How? How in the hell could a whole race of people be savage
for protecting their own land?
But not even that. They invited you here and were nice and said we can share all this green
shared
land.
the corn and the cornucopias and the
you
pumpkins.
shot them. You literally
gave them diseases and nasty shit.
This is why I say white people are aliens, and I'm not trying to disrespect anybody who listens to this podcast, but I am being real. Everything some white people touch, notice I said some, everything they touch literally is destroyed. That's what aliens do. Aliens come to to planets to strip the resources, and that's what they've been doing for years. Look at our ozone layer. Look at the economy and who it's been run by. You guys are aliens. You're 50%. You're talking about X-Men. Black and brown people are the X-Men. I'm just saying. And furthermore, boomers, while I'm on here, boomers, there should be an age limit to where in Congress. I'm sorry. If you sit here and you tell somebody when they work a 9-to-5 job, at 65 you need to retire because, cognitively you're on a decline. Why are you 85 and still allowed to be in Congress? And I'm speaking to everybody. And I love Maxine Waters. Don't get me wrong. Auntie Maxine, I love you. And I love that you're a fighter. However, your age group should no longer be in a position of power. You guys were born in the time of Jim
There weren't even
Crow.
computers.
But not even... I love how you go with the computers. But segregation.
Yeah, that too. Racism was rampant and there wasn't even cell phones.
Email, so you couldn't even record.
You couldn't even research shit.
Oh my God.
Well, that's what I'm just because there's this boomer mentality that's like,
I have to be in control.
I have to be in control, but it's like we need to go back to where there was prayer in the schools and we didn't have all these sexual constructs and there weren't kids who could decide their own orientation and da-da-da-da-da. No. We don't need to go back there.
Where did
it's
that get you?
Okay.
People committing suicide at alarming rates.
And again, if you feel that way, then you are allowed to have your own kids and teach them that and put them in schools that teach that or only want to talk about that or move to places that do that. Absolutely. Do not bring the rest of us back to 1945.
Yeah.
Because you think that we shouldn't have transgender kids in the classroom and gay, homosexual, lesbian, transgender. I was trying to do the letters and I just got really mixed up. Anyway. And I get that a lot of people are like, there's too much now and everyone has too much toys and they're all anything. I don't agree with everything that's going on.
No.
But I also don't think we should revert back to the Stone Age just to make a point.
Exactly.
There's other ways to do it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I think it's sad, but I can tell you this, it's not a black woman's fight. It's definitely a white woman's fight, and I'm not getting out there and protest, and I don't care how you feel. Fuck your feelings. But,
didn't a study come out that said that like black women from 20 to 35 they were more educated, they're less married, and they have less kids than ever before.
Absolutely.
So I'm not worried about us, but get your plan B, get your birth control checked.
And for people who are saying that, oh yeah, this is not it is a black issue. Here's the thing. Let me give you some statistics, okay? Most Planned Parenthoods are put in urban communities, aka black communities. Okay, they love to throw that word urban, black communities. 60% of all abortions in the United States are committed by white women. Let me please say that again. Most, I would say, and you can, don't quote me on this, 99% of all the Planned Parenthoods are in the hood or in black communities. And I'm not, making a comparison between the hood and black. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying they're in lower income areas. 60% of all the abortions that happen in the United States are from white women.
Math ain't math.
You're making a choice to have a child, which is your choice. I'll cut that out because that sounded horrible.
Also, if you have a miscarriage and you don't completely miscarry the baby and they have to go in and retrieve that fetus from your uterus, do you know what they code that as medically? An abortion.
They do. So abortion is this big term
for a lot of things
that everybody just assumes, oh, you're killing your baby. No, it's not. If you look at ICD-10 codes, they have that abortion is an umbrella term. I have had friends of mine who have had incomplete miscarriages and who have literally almost died from having that. Not only that, I have had friends of mine who have delivered babies full term and they were stillborn. So you're going to prosecute that mother too? If she did everything right, she went to all her doctor's appointments, she ate right, she did everything right, and that her child still passed away. You're going to now blame her with a felony to say, well, you should have did more. What kind? Again, when you're dealing with aliens, we don't speak the same language.
And it's a class issue because you're talking about as soon as the baby is conceived, that's a life. We can't abort it. Once you harvest my eggs and you fertilize them, you throw away the shit ones.
Yeah, you do.
Or the ones that don't take.
They're not viable.
That is technically now abortion.
Yeah.
But because it is very expensive to do in vitro and only very rich people can do it. I won't even say very rich because you can have a GoFundMe. People with the funds.
People get BBLs in the hood, so
that's true. People, usually affluent people with the funds, well-off people can have those types of procedures done.
Yeah.
We're not talking about that. We're talking about these lower income families, people,
Absolutely.
areas, women.
Absolutely. But you know what I think is gonna what I think is really weird too? Because people are just like, just give your baby up for adoption. Give your baby up for adoption.
So they
Don't kill
die
it.
in the foster system.
But here's the thing: foster care systems, to a degree, should never exist. And the reason why I say that is because here you have, I'm just only using this example. I'm not using any other example. You have a mother who is a single parent who is struggling to raise a child. And because she's struggling to feed her child, clothe her child, and she had the baby, right? So she did not, have an abortion. She had her baby. She's struggling to take care of that child. Let's say she makes too much money to qualify for food stamps, WIC, anything, right? Let's say she makes $60,000, but she still doesn't have enough because gas is high, rent is high, everything is high, right? She got student loans she's trying to pay off because she did everything the right way, right? CPS comes in and says, well, you're not doing enough, and now you're homeless with this child in your car. We're going to have to take your child, okay? Mind you, she doesn't have any resources. You put the child in foster care, and then you ask a foster parent, hey, can you take this child and we'll give you resources to care for this child?
We'll give you money to pay for this child. Why wouldn't you just give the mother the money?
The foster care system should be dismantled. All this money that you have to care for to give to strangers to care for other people's kids. Because let's be clear, drug addicts and alcoholics are not the only people who get their children taken away. People who work a 9-to-5 still get their children taken away, and they have not abused their children. Like, we like to paint this narrative that the only kids that are in foster care come from these abused homes. No, they don't.
Did you see Pursuit of Happiness? He was about to lose his kid.
He was literally trying to sell x-ray machines. I don't know why, but whatever. I mean, I guess it was popular at that time in life. I don't know, whatever. But he's a millionaire now. But I'm just saying, there are real parents who work 9-to-5s every day who are one paycheck away from being homeless. All of us are. Let's be very clear.
We're 2 bad decisions and a couple of hard times.
Not even 2, 1. But I think we should go back to segregation. I really do.
Wait,
I'm serious.
What am I supposed to do, bitch?
You got to figure it out. Which team will you serve on? Okay?
I don't have a water
The
fountain.
whites or the blacks?
You know what? It should be mixed race people and non-mixed race people.
I don't think that's fair because there's too many of y'all.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the hill I'm dying on.
Could you imagine if they separated the world like that? Mixed people versus white
We'd
and
be
black?
having a great old time.
I mean, black people would be strong, but goddamn.
You know, I would just love to see like the pure blacks and the pure whites, and y'all can duke it out on that side, and we'll be all free and self-loving over here.
Y'all have to join us.
No.
If you're phenotypically black, you got to join the blacks. Yep, you got to join the blacks.
The paper bag test.
So my one student, he wouldn't make it. He'd be on the white side.
He'd do okay on that one.
R.I.P. Ryan.
It's nice knowing you.
Nice knowing you. But no, it's crazy, and I think it is sad, and I'm not trying to make light of it, but just understand this is not a black issue. This is definitely a white issue, and the fact that and this is why we kept saying this is a slippery slope that they're on, because once they come after one thing, they're gonna feel
everything else
compelled to come after everything. And the fact that Clarence Thomas, old coon bitch ass, said that he's coming after interracial, that they should overturn gay marriage, interracial relationships, and same-sex marriage. I'm just telling you right now, they coming after it. He's giving you a warning. He's not trying to just say, well, I think in my opinion, because the last justice who was leaked, that was his opinion, and look what happened. They're trying to, and the thing is, they're never covert with it. They're telling you exactly what they're doing. You're just not listening.
Because you're like, surely not here.
So what is the key? I'm naming this episode, Listen to Black Women. We've been telling y'all for years. Listen to Black women.
And Alyssa.
It depends.
You can listen to half
It depends on who you're claiming, what set you're repping that day. The blacks or the whites. It's good that you can switch between the two.
That's not fun.
No. It seems exhausting, like code switching.
It is exhausting.
Yeah.
It is exhausting.
Yeah. But we're keeping Fowler in our prayers.
Keep me in your prayers.
That was
It's
the prayer.
just, yeah. I don't even know how to explain it.
I mean, I think it's. I mean, like I was telling you before we started recording, I feel like for you specifically, because you were raised as a white woman, even though you're phenotypically black, like I think it is an internal struggle as an outsider looking in, because it's like you know and love these people, but then the ideologies and the thought pattern that they have goes against sometimes what the other part of you is.
Well, and it's exhausting to try to be a voice of reason to people who have not had
those experiences.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Like you can never. That's like trying to convince some man on the street how awful my periods are.
Right. Or a male gynecologist. I don't understand male gynecologists.
I don't trust y'all for shit.
You ain't got no uterus. How you, if I say, you know how when you cramp and you do this and they be like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Chad, you don't know, Chad.
You just don't get it.
Dr. Chad. I'm not saying that I'm not invalidating you, but I kind of am.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So yeah, let's talk about something fun.
Yes. What are you watching?
What haven't I been watching? A lot of, oh no. Oh gosh.
Well, you already warned them.
A lot of good stuff has come out. Number one, did you watch Spiderhead?
I did, and I was not impressed.
Spiderhead, which I was excited for because Miles Teller is in it, and he was just in Top Gun,
Journey
which
Smollett.
is so good. Journey's in it. We love her from Lovecraft Country. Chris Hemsworth,
Thor.
can't get enough of him. And it looked so good on the previews. It's a Netflix film. If anyone doesn't know, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like these people who are in jail can apply for this program where they go for like pharmaceutical testing, but they get to live in this facility.
They don't know it's pharmaceutical testing.
They don't know it's pharmaceutical testing. They just know they're there for something. And they get to live kind of in a commune. So there's no bars and chains. They're not locked up. They all contribute to this lifestyle. They cook, they clean, they do all these things. But this man is testing out these different drugs on them.
Yeah. To control their emotions.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I just thought I needed more. It wasn't giving me all that it had to give. There could have been, it could have been a little juicier, I think.
I felt like the storyline could have been a great storyline, but it fell flat, and it was just.
I needed a twist at the end.
Yes, they kept too much of the storyline. Like, I don't know. I just needed more. I needed them to explain more of his reasoning behind why he was doing this, and they just came right in and was like, "Oh yeah, we're testing these for this and this," and it was like, "But why? Where is the why behind it?" And then like the ending was so stupid.
It's like when you have all the makings of a good sandwich, but you just.
No bread.
Or you're like, not enough meat.
That's what Austin was saying. He made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then he got everything out and had no bread. I was like, that's so depressing.
That is.
I would just throw everything. I flipped the whole house over.
Dude, did I tell you that all I wanted was cereal? It was a weekend, and I woke up early for some reason. It was like 8 o'clock, and I was like, you know what? I want some cereal. I went to H-E-B. I bought some cereal. I bought some other stuff. Got home. I didn't buy milk.
Oh, no. I hate when my phone does it. I'm sorry, y'all.
It was the worst.
Yeah.
I also watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, like every other girl on social media right now. Do you know what that is? Summer I Turned Pretty. Pretty. It's it was like this teeny bopper book series that came out a long time ago, and they just made the Amazon Prime show. And it's about this girl who like finally gets tits one summer, and all these boys fall in love with her. So I've been watching that. What else? Oh, I started Umbrella Academy, first episode.
I need to start it. Is it good?
It started, and I was like, wait, what the hell happened last season?
I know. Because they wait so long to put this stuff out.
Yeah, I know. But the first episode's pretty good.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm trying to think if I've watched anything else. I think that's it. What are you watching?
So I watched also Spiderhead, but I also watched this one movie called Trees of Peace. I don't know why I decided to watch this.
Trees of Peace?
Trees of Peace. And it's a great movie, and I think a lot of people should watch it, but I think you have to be in the right mind frame to watch it.
I don't need any of that right now.
Well, I mean, true. So it goes about, so this is based off of a true story, actually. And so it's on Netflix, and it's basically from the perspective of these 4 women. And it's about the genocide in Rwanda that happened.
No,
but it's really good. It's really good. I'm gonna tell you why. So it's about the genocide in Rwanda from the Hutus and the Tutsis, right? And how it's basically about, supremacy, how white people came in. Of course, the aliens, they destroy everything they touch. Anywho, and so this one lady and her husband, they built like a little shed thing at the bottom of their kitchen.
Okay.
Like a 4x4 little room in the event that something happened. She's pregnant though. And so her husband works like with the UN. And so during the genocide, they hear all this stuff. He puts her in this little room. Well, then he's trying to help rescue other people as well. So then there's a nun that comes in. She's in there. And then there's this white girl who was just there on like a mission trip, right? And so she's in the room.
Love mission. Remind me to tell you about my mission trip story.
Oh, okay, cool. So then they go into this little area, whatever. So then he rescues this one last girl. Well, his wife, I think, is a Tutsi. And the one that he rescues is a Hutu. And so, of course, she's like, get off me, you swine. And the lady's like, listen, bitch, in order for us to survive, you need to shut the fuck up. Now, mind you, this little room has like a little window to the street. So they're seeing all of these people being killed and everything. These 4 women, and this is a true story.
What happened to the husband?
Well, the husband, he was going back and forth. So he would like give her a bunch of food. And then she'd be like, we have to ration this because we don't know how long this is going to happen. Because they're thinking a couple days will be fine. And the one stupid girl who who he saved, the last girl who was acting all stupid, she wanted to try to eat up all the food. And the lady's like, listen, bitch, we got to have enough food for the 4 of us or whatever. So anyway, and the white girl, she had a bunch of like granola bars from the United States and everything. And she was like, I was going to share, but we have to ration it out. Long story short, the husband, it takes him days to come back. These 4 women were in a 4x4 little room. They had enough room to stand up, but they were stuck in there for 81 days.
Shut the fuck up.
81 days. And then they finally got out. But 81, but it just tells us.
The whole film is just in that
fucking room. And you see the killings from the little window. They had to put stuff like their shirts in there. At times it would rain. They didn't have water. And they literally almost died because they were dehydrated. They didn't have food. And so the husband would come back without being killed. I mean, because he would risk being killed or whatever. And, you had to show your paperwork that you weren't, that you were either a Tutsi or a Hutu or Hutu, what I said? Hutu. Sorry. I'm talking about Hutu.
She didn't really watch it.
No, I did, but it was just, and I watched it on a Saturday night too, but it was such a good movie about building a sisterhood with these strangers that you don't know, that you come from all different walks of life. And then the one nun, she was just like, God is going to save us. And they were like, girl, fuck you. Without saying it so much. But then the white girl, she starts teaching them about I won't call her a white girl. She was the American. She started teaching them how to read and how to write and writing down certain things. And they just thought that they would never get out of there. But 81 days they spent there.
80 days too long.
And I'm like, y'all didn't wash. You couldn't brush your teeth. Even with the pooping and peeing, they had to pull up part of the floor and just poop in this fucking hole. And I'm like, thank God y'all had a little ventilation with the little window, but just them going stir crazy, the 4 of them who are complete strangers who are stuck in this room. So it's called Trees of Peace. It's a really good movie.
Wow.
They don't show a whole crap ton of people being blood and all that kind of stuff. They just show it from their perspective. It's almost kind of that movie with Kerry Washington, American Son.
Not Room.
American Son.
Yes.
Yeah, and so they just are showing their perspective of what they are how they're seeing what's actually going on, but not showing what they're seeing to a degree. So it's not blood and guts or anything like that, but it's a beautiful movie about sisterhood and stuff like that. But it's also sad to remind of what white supremacy does. They just try to divide. That's all it does, which is horrible and disgusting. But anyway, that's pretty much all I've been watching.
Nice.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we can talk about before we get out of here?
No, we went way over.
Oh, your what you call it thing. You want to tell me that off camera?
Oh no, there's something that irks me about mission trips
because it's rooted in white supremacy.
Yeah, and there was in Peru, there was a mission trip people that were on our train, and I was just like, I don't trust it. I don't fucking trust it.
Because again, you have a bunch of quote unquote sinners here in the United States of America. Go save them.
The only picture I've ever liked or video I've ever liked is the one of George W. dancing with those little African babies. It gets me every time. Every time. I love that video.
Nah, it makes my ass itch.
Love it. But that's the only one.
Because he goes back to his $1 million house. I don't like it.
He does, and it's that for me. It's like they're vacationing to play, not to play house,
and they're always taking pictures.
Savior.
Why are you taking pictures? They're
always taking pictures, and it's it irks me.
But they'll convince you that that's what the whole continent looks like. Like this one girl I saw on social media, I had to say this. Education is so important, y'all. Education is so important. She literally says, that's the lady, she says, well, what's the biggest scam in the United States? Or what's the biggest scam that you ever heard? And so the girl says, South Africa. And she's like, why? She's like, because how can you have South Africa, South Africa is a country inside of another country. And I'm like, bitch, have you ever taken geography? Africa is a continent. It's not a fucking country.
Also, I heard South Africa is the worst part of that continent.
I don't think it is. I've heard otherwise.
Really? That is the best part?
I'm not as it's the best part, but it's very different. That's what the white man wants you to believe.
No,
everything about Africa is amazing except for the Congo. parts of the Congo.
I heard that because I've always been like, oh yeah, I want to go to South Africa, and they're like, skip it.
No,
The white
that's not
part.
true.
Skip the white part.
I've seen people on TikTok who actually live in South Africa, and the parts that they show, beautiful.
Oh, okay.
They live
because I've
regular
always had
lives
like
just like we do.
Tanzania, Zimbabwe, like those are the places. to go.
Zanzibar. I want to go to Zanzibar. Have you
Let's
seen
go.
their beaches? Their water is see-through. Oh my God, Zanzibar has the most beautiful water.
Africa.
We got to get vaccines to go over there though.
What kind?
For stuff for like malaria and.
Oh, I hate malaria.
You do? Have you ever heard of anybody with it? No.
No.
I hate you. Get off. I'm about to say get off my phone, but we're in person. Anyway, yeah, all that to say, yeah, I don't trust mission trips either. I don't like people who do missions. Like, do your charity starts at the house. Anywho.
If you really feel called, you should donate to the two of us.
Right. Your uncle sitting in your house is an alcoholic. Go save him. Get the fuck out of here. Anyway.
Oh, y'all just make me laugh. Mostly you. I don't know why I said y'all.
Are you calling me fat? You fucking bitch.
The two of you sitting over there.
I lost 11 pounds this week. Thank you.
Damn.
Well, not 11 pounds this week, but I lost 11
That's
pounds.
what you said, though.
In a month.
She's
No, not
lying
this
to the
week.
people.
I wish I did. Shoot. That'd be awesome.
11 pounds a week? You'd probably die. That's not healthy.
I'd be skinny.
You would. I love that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to do that fast. So anyway, thank you guys for tuning into another episode of the Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Remember to spread love.
Spread light.
And don't forget to laugh your face off.
I'm going to be so late to this shit.
Ma'am, are you wearing that?
No, I wasn't going to wear this, but I guess I am now.
Are you going to go back? You were trying to go back home?
Yeah. That's suspicious. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of The Face Off with Fleming and Fowler. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube at The Face Off Pod. Be sure to tune in to The Face Off every Tuesday where new episodes are released.